Let me start by asking you about the revelations from Tulsi Gabbard. Now, the left claims there's really nothing new here. They insist that the Russians did, in fact, try to meddle in the election, whether or not with any success. And even if there wasn't a Trump collusion, the Russians did unilaterally favor Trump. So, from the left's point of view, there's nothing here. And some on the right have a little different concern. I think they feel like there's a lot here, but guess what? Republicans never do anything about any of this. They talk a good game, they post a lot of memes, but nothing happens. What is your take on the importance of these revelations and whether or not you think anything will in fact come of them?
Well, Dinesh, I think that there's a lot here. I think that Tulsi Gabbard has done a tremendous public service, actually, in unveiling and declassifying a lot of this to the broader public. I mean, this 2020 House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence report that was previously declassified, this is pretty galling stuff. I mean, they're showing quite clearly here that John Brennan, Jim Clapper, James Comey, really John Brennan above all, they knew darn well that the Steele dossier, this utterly discredited Clinton campaign document from the presidential election cycle, bought and paid for by the campaign and the DNC and Fusion GPS, the old British spook Christopher Steele. I mean, it's a tale that Americans have kind of forgotten by now. These salacious details, the compromat, the P-tape. I mean, we know that John Brennan and those guys knew that this was bunk. And yet, for years, Dinesh, for years, categorically, at least as recently as 2023, when Brennan was testifying in Congress and told then Congressman Matt Gaetz this in a direct back and forth, he said that the CIA had nothing to do with the Steele dossier. But what Tulsi Gabbard has just shown us shows that that is a lie, shows that that is absolutely a lie, that they did rely, at least in pretty relevant part, on the discredited Steele dossier to fabricate this rushed out the door January 6, 2017 intelligence community assessment, all of this laying the predicate for what would ultimately become the Rod Rosenstein appointed Mueller probe in May of 2017 that swallowed up more than half of the Trump presidency. So I think it's a very big deal. I think that Barack Obama's implication is no small deal as well. I do wonder, putting on my legal cap for a second here as a lawyer, I do wonder what could happen at this late juncture. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm pretty skeptical that Barack Obama is going to be doing a perp walk in handcuffs. I personally would love to see that, but we did just have this whole presidential immunity case at the U.S. Supreme Court last year, Trump versus the United States, and whatever the evil and really evil actions were of Barack Obama in trying to weaponize the intelligence community to spy on the then incoming president there. Nonetheless, intelligence community operations, communications, that is core Article 2 executive power. So I think that Barack Obama, unfortunately, is going to be immunized from prosecution. We'll see what happens with the other individuals here. There's going to be some possible statute of limitations issues. I fear, just looking at some of the statutes that some folks have mentioned as possible prosecutorial cause of action for a Clapper or a Brennan or someone like that there. I do think, though, I mentioned that 2023 congressional testimony from John Brennan to Matt Gaetz. I think you could probably throw out a decent case that John Brennan perjured himself. Now, that's not necessarily what we're all hoping for. We're hoping here for a big, perp walk, mugshot, the kind of thing that Trump got in Fonnie Willis's Fulton County, Georgia, that whole shenanigans there. So I'm not sure that's going to happen. Just be very sober and realistic with you. But at a bare minimum, the barest bare minimum, Dinesh, this is a tremendous public service for Tulsi Gabbard to declassify these documents and for us to see the truth finally come out.
I saw something that the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, said very recently, which I thought was interesting. He said, not only did they orchestrate this, not only did they cover it up, but they are still covering it up. As you know, guys like Clapper and so on are going on TV shows now and doubling down. So I wonder if there might be some kind of a legal case that includes the cover-up, because if you include the cover-up, I mean, I'm not aware of anything that Obama did, for example, after his presidency in relation to all of this, but it's quite clear that the others did. I wonder if there might be some, because listening to the tone of Ratcliffe, I got the idea that he was very much saying, hey, we're sending this over to the DOJ to be prosecuted.
Yeah, so look, I'm not sure that we've seen the end of this yet, actually. The impression that I've gotten from both Tulsi Gabbard as the DNI and from John Ratcliffe as the director of the CIA, the impression that I get as of the time that you and I are talking is that there is probably going to be more to come. I'm not sure that we've seen the end of these revelations and declassifications. I might be wrong about that. That's just the impression that I've gotten. So let's see there. But look, I think that something could happen. I'm just trying to temper the expectations of the audience here. I don't want anyone to think that Barack Obama is going to be getting a Donald Trump-style mugshot. Again, I would love nothing more than to see that. Now, you do raise a very astute point, Dinesh, which is what if Barack Obama took action after he was president of the United States there? What if, let's call it that period between January 20th, 2017, inauguration day for Trump the first time, and then May of 2017 when Rod Rosenstein tapped Bob Mueller as the special counsel there. There was a few months there of an interval. Was Barack Obama communicating with Jim Comey behind the scenes? Because after all, Comey was Barack Obama's FBI director as well. So it's possible. I mean, it's possible there. But for any kind of prosecution, it's not enough to simply say that evil deeds were committed. You need a specific criminal statute.
In a time when Hollywood continues to peddle moral confusion and cultural decay, Angel Studios is doing something truly remarkable, creating films that inspire and reflect our values. Their latest release, Sketch, is a prime example. Imagine Stranger Things meets Inside Out, but with virtue, imagination, and heart at the center. The story follows a young girl whose sketchbook falls into a mysterious pond, only to have her wild, colorful drawings spring to life. It's suspenseful, it's funny, it's deeply moving, it's entertainment with a moral compass. If you're a premium Angel Guild member, you already have 2 free tickets waiting for Sketch in theaters starting August 6th. If not, now is the time to join and take a stand for media that strengthens families instead of tearing them down. You'll also unlock Angel's entire streaming library, content that aligns with faith, freedom, and truth. Visit angel.com/Dinesh today. Become a part of the Angel Guild to receive 2 free tickets to Sketch in theaters August 6th. Angel.com/Dinesh.